I spent decades of my life in deep pain, afraid of hell, afraid of going to church, afraid that my parents would not love me anymore if they knew I was gay.
Tremendous judgment and shame about my sexual orientation. Growing up in a fundamentalist Christian home, the pain was so great. That struggle nearly tore me to pieces and nearly caused me to end my life.
There's so much beauty in religion and community and wonderful things it provides for human beings, but there's also the dark side that creates a lot of pain.
In the Old Testament, Leviticus 18, how many times have I heard it? It's an abomination to be gay. In that same context, it's also an abomination to shave your face.
And I began to discover that what I'd been told was a crop of lies. I got so angry. I got so angry at fundamentalism. I found myself in many conversations with other gay men, many of them who were married. They were in a marriage of lies.
You can't pray away the gay. You can't marry away the gay. You can't have children away the gay. You are who you are.
I became an ordained minister in 1969, and I got tired of myself being a self-righteous preacher. I preached to other people what I'd been preached to.
There are many beautiful young people growing up in fundamentalist religions that are feeling like they have no place in their church. And it's tearing apart families, and they're getting a message that they're not okay.
They have grown up in environments having religion forced upon them. They've had no free will to really decide for themselves. And as a result of that, when they discover their sexual orientations and internalize that they are an evil person, and what we aim to do is to help them see the divinity within themselves.
The Bible says, the church says, the preacher says, everybody else says, but we haven't trusted our own experience.
We need to learn to listen to the still small voice. Be still and know that I am.
I got so angry. I got so angry at fundamentalism. I didn't like being angry at them, but I knew that my mission was to not take on fundamentalism, but to provide an avenue for those who have experienced fundamentalism to help them find their freedom. I'm Nick Fife, and I'm the founder of New Wings.
I'm Carolyn Baker. I'm a former Baptist fundamentalist. I wrote a book called Coming Out of Fundamentalist Christianity, Affirming Sensuality, Social Justice, and the Sacred.
I'm Jim Stacy, author of Jesus Was Not a Christian. It's a book about the Jesus that was lost by the Christian patriarchs, the Aramaic Jesus who was replaced by theology.
I'm Debbie Blocker. I'm married. I have 6 children. I have 7 grandchildren. I am a former member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons.
We are working together to create a message to let young people and others know that their experience within the church is not who they are, that they are actually a divine being within themselves. Most everyone is harmed by fundamentalism of any type, be it Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or any. Whenever that amount of control is placed upon someone's life, and that becomes a part of an energy field within their body, then they become the fundamentalism, and they lose who they naturally are. In losing who they naturally are, they've lost their connection with the divine.
When we disconnect from who we really are, and we disconnect from love, and when you listen to the things you've been told and you believe them, it creates a sort of hell within yourself. That's the only hell there is.
When this takes a deep hold, it's what I call the poison point, a point where someone becomes dismembered from who they are and they take on the conditioning of what they have been taught in church, what they have been taught in society, even politically, until they begin to see and understand that this poison point actually has resided within them, then there is no escape.
We have to start from a place of assuming and understanding that these feelings are human and natural. We need to get beyond a literal interpretation of the Bible. And I can tell you, as a former psychotherapist of 17 years, that sexual orientation has nothing to do with domineering mothers and weak fathers. If a woman goes and does more stereotypically women things, that is not going to take away an orientation toward other women.
The human spirit has experienced a very deep wounding by the patriarchal structures, and they've replaced the human value with guilt and shame and a theology that says you're bad, you're wicked, you're separated from the divine. The wounding of the human spirit has been more dramatic because of Christian theology than any other force on the planet.
Begin asking yourself, where did I get this idea that I am a bad person, that I am evil and I am not worthy of divine love? Ask yourself deeply, directly to the divine, not through a minister, not through a church. You have that direct connection available to you.
The divine is within you. It's not out there somewhere. It is within you. Today, I feel like I've integrated my sexual orientation and my spiritual path to the point where I feel extremely free, and I have the kind of life that I always wanted to live, and I'm not bound by guilt and shame.
We need to learn to listen to the still small voice. Be still and know that I am. Jesus had a much bigger perspective than Christianity. He had a much bigger perspective than any religion, especially the patriarchal religions. Jesus was not even Jewish by religion. Jesus came as a teacher to reveal truth. He said himself, I have come to the planet to bear witness to the truth. He didn't come to teach theology, and he never did. He didn't come to teach religion. He never taught that. He came to show us who we really are. He said more passionately than anything else, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The church has never taught that as a truth. They ignore that part. But Jesus said it, and he wanted us to know that we are connected to the divine. We are created in the image of the divine, and we are nothing less than part of the divine. We are not wicked. We are not lost. We need to realize our divinity, learn how to walk in that divinity, learn how to love one another, and that was his passion, that love be our focus, loving the divine, loving neighbor, loving ourselves, even loving those that we label as enemies.
The only way you're going to know if you're right or wrong, or someone else is right or wrong, is through your own experience, through the laboratory of your own life. To live your life and see what happens. That takes great courage when you've been living under the threat of fear and shame and hellfire and judgment. It takes great courage to take that step. I would ask you to take that step.